peace operation here.
Happy to be. Okay, I'm going to click on our link, so don't be scared if you hear your own voice.
Peace operation.
Or my voice. Okay, let's let the people know. I have a YouTube notification, and how much you want to bet it's saying that we are live for our sprints.
Yeah. YouTube letting you know that you're already doing something.
I know. I do that all the time, though. When I see anyone's going to be live, I'm like, oh, set the little notification. And then I look back on it, and I'm like, that's like for past it classics. Like, I'm going to be there. I don't need a notification. I'm aware. I'm aware we'll be live.
Yes. Okay. I also updated on Twitter real quick.
Beautiful. Just gotta find a good filter.
Nana is always so punctual. Thank you. I love that.
And she's definitely should be asleep, but we love that you're here. So thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
We can call these our mid-month reading sprints.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, take 3 on me taking a picture of us. Yay. First one was not good, and then the second one, I got it, and then I took my camera down, and it was like, oh, you wanted the picture of you putting your camera down? I'm like, no, I wanted the picture of what I hit the button aiming at.
Yeah.
You know how it goes.
I sure do. Nana's sacrificing sleep for us.
Your insomnia. I mean, we're glad to have you, but
at what cost?
You could sleep right now. Yeah, at what cost?
Okay, so I figure we can start out by checking in about how the readathon is going, and then we can do our intros maybe a few minutes after, so that if people are new, they actually get to hear us introduce ourselves.
Yes. Oh, shoot. I just posted that in my story, and then I didn't say on Cara's channel. It's just sprints. There's sprints happening somewhere in the world.
If you find us, you can join.
Okay, I'm adding one more. But go ahead. Do you want to start off since I'm struggling?
Sure. Okay, so just kind of a readathon check-in. It's going actually very well. I had a truly ridiculous number of books I wanted to get to, and I'm making pretty good progress so far. Not to get overly optimistic, but we including a Shakespeare retelling, which Julia and I buddy read, so that was a great time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm trying to think we are going to be having our watch along this weekend, and we are determining the time for that. So keep your eye on our official Worlds of Page Twitter account, which should already be linked in the description, as well as Julia and Olivia Savannah, who is our other co-host, and she's not here right now, but she's also wonderful. Yeah, so any other readathon updates we need to do? I think those are the main ones. We are going to probably have a couple more sprints throughout the month. And yeah, and we're going to talk about what we're reading when we actually get started on the sprints. So, Julia, if you would like to check in about how the readathon is going for you after you finish.
Okay. We're linked. Actually, but let me not set my phone down. Let me just pull up.
Nina, I agree. I've read that one. I would not recommend it.
Yes.
At night.
So, well, spoilers. Nana and I are buddy reading Dead Voices right now. So it's one of the books I'm going to be reading today. But I told her last night, I was like, yeah, I'll read a couple chapters. And I was like, I waited too long and it got dark, so I didn't read it. I'm a baby.
Yeah. No, it's real spooky middle grade. I love it, but I mean, she's good at the atmosphere. She's not messing around.
No, listen, I my brain makes no sense to me. Maybe I'm just afraid of things that children are afraid of, because I'll read a book that's for an adult demographic and people are like, well, yeah, that's a horror book. And I was like, no, it's not a horror book. Come on. I read it. It was fine. And then I'll pick up a spooky middle grade book and I'm like, I can't read this alone at night. Ooh, I don't know. explain the psychology of that one. Okay, I'm trying to pull out my spreadsheet so I can tell you how I'm doing on the prompts. So I have only finished 2 books. You know what? A little bit of my ebook too, because I could probably finish that here and then I'll have finished another book. So we'll talk about that shortly. But between those 2 books that I have finished 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 prompts. So
Hey.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have definitely like quintupled up most of the prompts. I'm like, and you fit this one, and you fit that one, and you fit that one. So
me too. Yeah, I'm looking at my handy dandy spreadsheet here, and I'm counting things like for multiple things. So I've read, let me see how many books for the readathon. Like 6, maybe. But with those 6 books, I've completed like so many prompts. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, so I'm like really stacking things because I think I've hit like 14 prompts. Also, I may have one more if I can really count this, because I said in my TBR that I'm going to try the audiobook for that Stacey Lee book. And I was like, I know myself, and probably what's going to happen is I'm going to use it to get into the book, and then I'll be like, stop reading to me. I want to read. And then I'll read it myself.
The Titanic one, right?
Yes, Luck of the Titanic. I got like less than a page into it. I'm like, I don't like this narrator for this book. She's not a bad narrator. It's just like, because I think I had already started reading the book myself before, I already had an idea of what the main character should sound like. And I'm like, you're not.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Thank you. It's my primary coping mechanism. That's how I read so much.
Yeah, I'm happy right now because even though I haven't read a lot so far this month, I'm currently in the middle of a few very short things. So I know quickly it's going to be like from 2 to like 5 books. And I'll be like, okay, this feels better.
Yeah. The adrenaline rush of like getting to mark something finished like 3 times in a row.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And hold on, when does it come out? It might have been published yesterday. So I'll finish it and then get a little review up real quick, and I will feel proud of myself. Where are you? A world full of nature stories. Oh, and it actually coincides really nicely with the readathon because it's like a children's picture book anthology of like folk tales and legends, all like themed around nature. And the author has done one that's all Shakespeare plays. So
I assume that's what you're reading at some point too.
Yes, I actually own the Shakespeare one because I saw it at Costco and I was like, you're coming home with me? Oh, huh? This says May 3rd. Did I mix up the 2 dates of the 2 galleys that I'm reading this month? And the long one comes out yesterday and the short one came out next month? Or verb tenses? What? I'm so confused right now.
Hold for Julia checking her link. Oh, I'm stressed for you.
I also don't even. Is this what it's called? Yeah. No, this one says May 12th. Is neither one published this? What?
Sometimes they move dates and they don't announce it anywhere.
I mean, that's great because now I'll have it done ahead of time, but when? I have it as April 12th. I don't know why. Okay, maybe I'll check NetGalley too just to make sure, but okay.
Then you're really on top of it.
Yeah, more so than any of my arcs ever. Like a month ahead. It's usually like a month late. I'm like, book good. That's my review. Listen, the only time I've ever put any like hardcore effort was for Enola Holmes because they sent me the physical copy and I was like, oh, we're making a big deal about this, baby. Well, that and well, they didn't send it to me, but because I had the galley for the Guinevere deception, or not the galley, Jocelyn sent me the arc of it, like from her bookstore when she was working there. So because I had that, I was like, this review, I'm gonna just really type up something extra special for my girl.
Yeah.
But yeah, most of the time I'm like, I liked it. Fun time. Recommend it for these people. Okay, bye. I don't know. Sometimes, you just finish a book and you're like, I wish I had like deeper thoughts to share. Sometimes it's pretty much just like, yeah, okay, it was a fun time. Thank
It
you for
sure was
letting
a
me
book.
read it. Shush. Oh, my coworker has a bridal appointment. She's just letting me know for scheduling purposes. Okay. I forgot what I was doing. I'm trying to go to NetGalley. Jeez. Oh my gosh. After this, I'm setting my phone down. I'm losing it.
No, it's fine. These are also productivity sprints, so it's
True.
still on top.
I know. Oh my gosh. But speaking of Kirsten White, did you see / did I tell you that I got the Wretched Water Park
I
galley?
saw that.
I'm so happy. Speaking of spooky middle grade, too. Oh, and Enola Holmes, the next one. Oh my gosh, I have so many fun things to read. Okay. I'm just excited. Where is this dang book? Oh my goodness.
I agree.
Yes, I
I
also
think
agree with that.
especially because like so much of it, even if it's not like a spoiler, like technically, it's like I don't want to give away all the little things I love about this book because
Yeah.
it's like important to discover those. So at a certain point, you kind of just end with like, book good, read
Mhm.
book, please, I love it.
I have like, I don't know how to perfectly describe this phenomenon, but I've realized that when I don't like a book, very, very descriptive about like what I did not like. And whenever I do like a book, I just start listing like every like theme it encompasses and then like every aspect. So I'll just start going like sisters, family, compassion, characters, pacing. And it's like, what? You're just saying words. But makes sense to me.
Yeah, yeah. I know. Like, I think because when I'm reviewing a book I hate, it's like no, I need you to understand how specifically terrible these things are. Like I have my notes, I have quotations. I feel like I guess I feel like I need to defend my words more
Yeah.
when it's a book that I really hate or that I'm like, really angry about. Whereas if I love it, I mean, like I still feel like I need to back up my review, obviously, but like it feels different. It feels like
Yeah.
it's like, oh, wait, I just really love it. Here are all the things that are wonderful about it, but some of them I can't tell you, so you're just gonna have to trust me. Okay, bye.
Yeah. I totally agree. I feel like when you do a negative review, it's more like you want to be on the defensive because you're like,
Mhm.
somebody is going to question me and why I really dislike this book. And I want to tell you, I have my reasons.
Yes.
It's not just passive. Sarah's here.
Hi, Sarah. Hello.
Hi. I'm still struggling on NetGalley. So where am I even trying to be right now? So many lists. Okay. Let's see.
What were
It
you looking up? I can't
I'm looking
remember.
up when A World Full of Nature Stories comes out.
Okay,
May
okay.
3rd. I've got it made in the shade. It comes out May 3rd. I'm going to be so far ahead of the game.
Perfect.
Okay, well, that was more stressful than it needed to be.
It's okay. It turned out well. The answer was good.
Yeah, truly. So I'm happy.
Okay, so want to do our little intros. Julia, you want to say a little about you and your channel and let us know what you're going to be reading?
Yeah. When you
She
said
did. We were just discussing this. Julia is living her best life.
yes, I did. I'm very happy. When you said say a little, my brain went, pray for you. Yes, I will say a little. What do you want me to say a little about me?
Yeah, just like about you or your channel and then what you're going to be reading maybe.
My channel doesn't get posted too frequently, but I like to talk about historical fiction and classics and some fantasy and honestly a little bit of everything. I'm just like staring at my bookshelf and I'm going, oh, and that genre, oh, a little bit of that one, oh, some of that too. So a mixed bag, but mostly historical fiction and classics because I love a past setting. I don't know what it is. And I will be reading a few chapters of Dead Voices by Catherine Arden. Sorry, I take the dust jacket off so you get a spine instead of a pretty cover. And then after I catch up with Nana, before you go, let me know what chapter you're on, please, if you're still on chapter 7, because we're buddy reading that. And then, look who's back. Because this is like sprints are the only chance that I truly set aside to read this book because I can't walk around with it. So it's just the ideal time.
Perfect.
Annotating. So fun.
It's exciting.
Yeah. That's for you, Sarah. And I didn't even know you were going to be here, and I'm still reading it.
Okay, so hi everyone, I'm Cara. My channel is Wild Book Garden, which you obviously know because we're here now. Very excited for our All the Worlds a Page round 2 sprints. These are kind of our mid-month check-in. We mentioned a little at the beginning that we're going to be announcing the specific time for our watch-along, which is happening, I think, Saturday. Is that correct?
I believe so. Let me double check.
And we'll be that'll be on our Twitter as soon as we decide that. As far as things I like to read, like Julia, pretty much everything. Fantasy and historical fiction are like my most read, but also like contemporary, nonfiction, a little bit of sci-fi, occasionally a sprinkle of romance, a good number of classics. I'm just all over the map, like picture books, poetry. I read a lot of everything. I think that's very important, and it's something I enjoy doing. And as for what I'm going to be reading, I have one choice. I have one sensible option and one that I'm like, I'm just feeling it. I don't know. So the one that I actually think would make sense is the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society by Mary Ann Schaefer and Annie Barrows, because it's pretty short and it's epistolary. So it's like short chapters, like easy to read in chunks, you know? But then it's like, you know what I feel like reading is North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell, even though it's like, I have like tabs that I'm annotating it with. So it's really not like a, you know, pick it up and put it down easily kind of thing. But that is going to be our Past to Classics book. It's a reread for me. I'm only a couple chapters in and I'm already loving it. So I'm going to probably be bouncing between those. So Julie and I are both going for like classics that we really should be focusing on.
We're like, here's a light, fun, easy to pick up book, and here's a dense classic that we're annotating every theme of. No big deal.
Absolutely. That's what Nana says about where she said.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, for context, for anyone who hasn't read Dead Voices, the main, well, one of the main characters' dad, like his car is named. Nana, I forget the name, whatever. But they were like, maybe we can dig out Susie and sleep in her. And it's like, what? It's like, that's the car. We're not gonna like dig up some body and use it as a sleeping bag. Oh,
oh my god,
horrific, right?
Yeah.
So it really needs context.
So really, the book is not as bad as you thought it was going to be. Okay. Oh, and any particular prompts that you're reading for that you want to mention? Both of these would count for me for the one that has an adaptation. I haven't seen the Guernsey one yet because I wanted to read the book first. And then also I think I counted North and South for something else as well. What was that? Come on, spreadsheet, help me out. Apparently I counted it for All's Well That Ends Well. Yeah, it does have a happy ending, nice.
I would say. Dead Voices is not counting for anything for me. It probably does. I didn't assign it anything. So yeah. And then good old Count of Monte Cristo. I don't even know what half of these are, but it's doing Henry VI Part 2 and 3, Henry IV Part 1, Measure for Measure, Coriolanus, Hamlet, and Othello.
So get on it, Julia. You'll hit
exactly. That's why it's a big enough book that if I commit all these prompts to it and then I finish it, it'll be like, okay, see, it was worth it because I did so much.
Yes. Let us know in the comments what you guys are going to be reading or working on, or if you're just hanging out. We'll get ready to actually start sprinting pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Sorry, have you heard my computer?
Oh, okay. I thought it sounded like my computer noise, and I'm like, what happened? I didn't do anything.
No, it's
I
just me
didn't tell
plugging
you
my
to do
phone in.
anything. Perfect.
I'm gonna sprint some sleep. Nana, I love that answer.
Then
Yeah.
please go sprint some sleep.
Yeah.
Sarah, good
Sleep
luck.
experience.
Sleep experience. Ready, and
And then your alarm goes off 45 minutes later and you're like, what? Oh,
yeah.
no thanks. Cleaning sprints, that's honestly something I should do. That might actually work for me.
Yes. Okay, should we say, let's see, it's 4:23 now for me. Should we say this is good. See, I like ending at even like whole numbers,
I
even
know.
if it makes it a weird timer. So should we go for like a 22-minute sprint
Absolutely.
and go till 45? Let's do that.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay. And there we go. Alrighty. So starting 1, 2, 3, mute. Okay. You're on mute.
Okay. I
Welcome.
was tapping my computer screen because it's a touch screen and it was like, nope, won't unmute. So I finally had to wiggle the mouse over there. I was going to say that was a good start for me.
Good. How'd it go?
Good. I caught up to Dana in Dead Voices. I legitimately got scared. So I was sitting here like this going, oh no.
Yeah.
I looked up at one point like a plea for help. I was like, is anyone witnessing my fear? And then I read a couple more stories in A World Full of Nature Stories, which is on my phone. But yeah, good start.
Hi, Kelly. Perfect timing. I know Kelly's also participating in the readathon.
Yes.
Very exciting.
More of us.
Yes. I got just over a chapter read, which actually is not bad. That was kind of a long chapter. Already got some good tabs going. I don't know if you can wait. Why is the angle so bad there? See a little bit. Yeah, so really enjoying it. Excited to be reading it again after just reading it for the first time last year. I'm already ready. Kelly said Dead Voices was her favorite so far.
Ooh, okay, strong praise.
Yeah.
I'll be curious to see where it goes.
I've read all the ones that are out so far, so the first 3, and I think the first one is still my favorite, but the second was really close. It was really good. Yeah. Oh, actually, I am buddy reading the whole series with my friend Katie. We've been doing that for every book. So we're going to be finishing the series this year, and it's going to be interesting. That horrible clown cover.
Oh no, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, you should look it up.
Believe me, I am. Uh-oh. I'm scared. Yeah, I definitely have felt scared in the first one and the second one so far. So 2 for 2.
I think the maybe also because I didn't know what to expect with the first one. I think I went in with lower expectations than I thought.
Sorry.
Right? It's bad, right? It's terrible. I mean, good job, cover designer, but also, why would you do this? Yeah, so I think the first one was a surprise favorite, maybe was part of it, but I agree that the second one I found more personally scary. So I feel you on that. Yeah. Julia's great.
They're all scary to me, apparently.
Yeah.
And listen, anything, I don't know. I think specifically because they're middle grade books. And so, you can't, God forbid, you have an adult helping with the conflict, these children have to be isolated. And that is the freakiest part for me, is that there's no one to turn to. It's just these poor children. I mean, they have this reporter guy in this one, but I'm like, do I trust you? I don't know. I've only known you a couple chapters.
Yeah.
You seem all right, but I don't know. Yeah. It's just the isolation factor makes it extra scary.
Yeah. Part of what is so scary about it is you're seeing all these horrible things happen, and when other people don't believe them, or they don't. Yeah. It's the gaslighting on top of the already scary stuff happening is yeah, very, very stressful.
And what the heck is with these taxidermy animals? They're not even scary to me, but they should not be moving. They should not be going places. I don't like it.
Yep.
Mm-mm.
Ooh, I did not know about that. Spooky middle grade readathon in May?
Wow.
Well, that's going on my radar.
Intriguing.
I have a few I actually could read for that. Thank you for telling us that, Kelly. I had not heard of that one.
I know. I'm like, there's a lot of middle grade I'm interested in, but not a lot of it is on my physical TBR. I guess
Mm-hmm.
I can pick up the third. The next, what's the series? Is the series just Small
I think just
Spaces?
small
Small
spaces. Yeah.
Spaces, yeah.
Let me see.
Dark Waters.
See, most of my fantasy books are not over here, and I feel like the spooky ones tend to be. I mean, like it would have to be at least partly fantasy if it's going to be like a real creepy one. So I can't see anything that inspires me right now, but I'm probably going to find something.
Are Frances Harding's books considered to be middle grade?
Yeah, those would be perfect actually. Like there is some disagreement over how to categorize them. Hannah and I talk about this a lot actually, is because like she's marketed as a children's writer and she views herself as a children's writer. So that's what I tend to call her. But like I've seen her books shelved all over the place. So I think I think you could read any of her stuff to count for a spooky middle grade readathon though.
Yeah.
So that's perfect. I don't think we'll be like we won't be starting up the readathon again, the read along, but if you want to catch up on some,
Yeah. Let me
perfect
see which
timing.
ones I added on Goodreads. Because I really did like Cuckoo Song a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
I added The Lie Tree and Well Witched both on Goodreads. So I think those were the two that stood out to me.
Those would
Slash, I
both
was able to
count.
go to the live shows.
Yeah.
They both would work, you
Those
said?
yes.
Yes.
Spooky. I think the only ones of hers that wouldn't really I think like the duology she did maybe wouldn't count and maybe Gullstruck Island wouldn't, but like real dark stuff happens. It's just not like spooky stuff, you know? So
Okay.
really you could probably read anything by her. Oh, that's cool. I've only read a couple things by Emma Carroll, but like I've really enjoyed them. I need to read more.
I'm searching her right now.
And that makes me happy because I feel like she's not super well known. Because I mean, kind of like Frances Harding, she's a UK author, and I feel like she just doesn't get
Big
the same,
authors.
yeah, like she just doesn't get the same awareness here. Partly because most of her books aren't even published here.
There you go.
So that's part of it.
That would definitely do it. The Snow Sister.
Hello. Welcome.
Hey, Rachel. Yeah, I don't even know what I'm looking for at this point, but that's good to know. I'm always on the hunt for more readathons. Don't ask me why. I can barely commit to doing anything for any of them, but by golly, do I want to try to participate?
I know. Well, but I feel like even if, because sometimes I end up with months where it's like, oh, I want to participate in like 5 different things and I read maybe 1 or 2 books for each of them. A lot of times it's still like, well, I wouldn't have read this book this month if it wasn't for this readathon. So like, that's still progress, I think.
True. That's fair. I mean, I overcommit every month anyway, so like what's the difference between overcommitting by 7 books and overcommitting by 14 books? Like it's just a list, right? I'll pick what I want to read from it. I don't know.
Right. It's like I already know I'm not going to do all of this, so I might as well have a good time deciding.
I might as well have fun with my chaos, okay? Let me live.
Like truly, TBR planning is an entirely separate hobby from reading.
Like, I love it. I love it so much.
Me too.
It's yeah, it's gotten to a ridiculous point for me because like I look right now and I go, oh my gosh, it's almost halfway through the month. Pretty soon I can plan my May TBR. Like it's truly something that happens mid-month for me.
Yeah.
I'm just excited.
Yes, options are good to have.
Yes. I love
This
it.
month is actually unusual in that most of the books I've read so far have actually been ones I said I was going to read. So that's exciting. I do have a couple of surprise ones in there, but that's okay too. So yeah. I was looking though, and I'm like, a lot of the ones that I still have left are the ones that are going to take longer.
Uh-oh.
Like, I haven't started The Mad Ship by Robin Hobb yet, but it's going to happen.
I mean, I was gonna say same, but I'm talking about like north and south. So that's mediocre in comparison.
One thing, I mean, I think I'll be interested to hear, obviously, what you think when you start it, but like it read actually the first time I read it and now as well, it reads very quickly. Like,
Okay.
I think partly because I was just enjoying it, but also I don't feel like her style is as like dense as some
Mhm.
classic writers are. I don't know. I just know that I was putting off doing other things and reading other books so that I could read this one. And I feel like, especially with the classic, that's a good sign.
That is honestly, that like
So,
means something.
yeah. Because I love a good classic, but like they're not always books that I like. Sometimes I have to remind myself to pick them up and read them, even if I'm really enjoying them. And this one I did not.
Yeah.
Oh no, Kelly. I'm
Mhm.
so sorry.
That's like a bummer for real.
Yeah. Feel free to rant about any of them.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. What books were they?
that really sucks. I don't think I've had too many. Let me look at Goodreads here. I mean, I know we like to talk about all the problems Goodreads has, but it really is so nice to be able to just look and see what I've read.
Oh
Like,
my gosh, please.
I love
In this little noggin of mine, if we didn't have technology keeping track of books for us, oh my gosh, I'd be like, I think I read 3 books this month, and Goodreads would be like, that's half of what you read. How did you forget 3 other books that existed?
it. Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. I think the lowest I've had rating wise this month has been 3.5 stars. So that's not bad. And I've had a couple that I've really enjoyed, which is nice. Um, oh,
I
Rachel says huge TBR is finally, after long last, stressing her the heck out. Magical Readathon has been fun. Yeah, that happened to me with like the huge TBRs, is all of a sudden I was like, I can't do this anymore. It's too much. And so for like a whole year, I did like none of it. And it was a good reset for me. Oh, that's right. I remember you talking about that Bridgerton book.
Is this Colin and Penelope?
I don't know what book 4 is. I don't know
Please
any.
tell me it is, because that's the only one I'm qualified to talk about, and I would love to hate on Colin. So
Okay, wait, let me look it up. I want to find out if you guys hate the same book.
please, Kelly, please tell me.
Number 4, I mean, is Romancing Mr. Bridgerton, which is Colin and Penelope. Yeah. Let's go to
Oh,
town. I don't know Colin, but I already hate him.
listen, it was just. See, okay. So the thing is, oh my gosh, I just remembered Mary Margaret asked me, she was like, should I watch Bridgerton? You seem to enjoy it. Let me know. And I never answered her. So just reminded myself. So here's the thing is that like the idea of Colin and Penelope, I love. I love like a best friend's brother. I love like a childhood crush. I love pining for years. I love a man realizing he's wrong. All those things are great. The problem is that in the first half of the book, Penelope's like, Colin is so nice. What a kind boy. Like literally calling him nice multiple times. And they have a first kiss, and it's a great scene. And I loved it because it's all in Colin's point of view. And he's like, oh my, wait a second. I've been missing out on this. Penelope is it. And I'm like, yes, Colin, yes. And then the rest of the book, he has like anger issues. This boy is so mad all the time for no reason. Like he's just heated, and then it makes me heated. And he was like grabbing her arm and like yelling at her about something that's a spoiler if you don't watch the show / read the books. So I won't really get into it. And she's like, leave me be. Yes,
Yeah,
see? Um,
that's
and so he's
awful.
just like a total personality switch. And I'm like, this is supposed to be when we love him, and you made him bad.
Yikes.
So that was not great. First half of the
Thank you.
book, I loved. Second half
Thank you
was
for confirming I don't want to read these. Like, oh boy. Um,
terrible. Sorry, I'm ahead in the comments. We'll get there.
TBRs. Yeah, planning is a stress hobby. I feel you. Yes.
Truly.
Yeah. There have been times when I have like meticulously planned out like an entire month's TBR and I end up using none of it. And I'm like, that was kind of a waste of time. And I'm like, I had a good time
Uh-oh.
though. Oh, I'm sorry for the low star reads. I'm nervous about this because Julia and I
Oh
are going to buddy read this one, and everybody I know has hated it.
no. Oh no.
The roughest draft is the one I'm talking about. I'm scared.
Panic. Screaming, crying. Ah,
He sounds awful.
100%. Yes.
So much.
Kelly, you nailed it. And Mary Margaret, hi. I was just talking about you.
You summoned her.
I summoned her.
Hello,
No.
Marlene.
Yeah, wait, go back.
Exactly. Which one?
to Rachel's comment. Colin and Penelope? Question mark. One more. Okay. So I shared a TikTok on my Instagram story. And I'm just gonna air this right now because I can't deal with it. And she goes, I thought this was Will Schuester from Glee because it just starts with like this angle of him. So it's like hard to see who it is. I was like, no, it's Anthony, you heathen. So I'm still not over that. It's Anthony. It's not Will Schuester.
That's really funny. Okay. Is Penelope the plus sized
Yes.
character? I also heard she loses a bunch of weight in the book.
Okay.
Like I was
here's the
just
thing.
talking with someone.
It isn't. It was disappointing that her weight was even like a factor in the book. However, I took a small smidgen of, oh, okay, in that she said like, well, I'm still not as thin as everyone else, but I lost some weight. And I'm like, okay, thanks. Way to throw a girl a bone. Like, so now she's big-sized. Like, so yeah, not amazing.
I see. It's good that I get these reminders because, like, sometimes I'll get just a tiny bit of FOMO about Bridgerton, and then I'm like, you know what? I would hate it. I need to not even lie to myself. Like,
no, listen. I already told you the romance novels that I want you to read. I gave you a list of historical romance books where I'm like, try this one, try that one, try this one. What if I go grab Thief of Shadows right now? Hold on. Maybe I'll just read one while we're at it. Toodaloo.
Okay.
Oh, almost it.
Any of y'all in the comments, what are you reading or working on right now? Or for our next sprint, I should say, as Julia adds another book.
Yeah. But I'll put a Shakespeare bookmark in it to make it better.
Yeah, it totally counts. Well, and I already decided that I am going to switch over to my other book because as good a time as I'm having, I feel like I need more focus, like for the North and South one.
So,
oh, is that the like one that you just?
I was like, you're gonna see my library. Don't stalk me. Yeah, baby.
Is this the one with the brother that you love?
Yes.
I hope it's everything you wanted and more.
Yes. So for everyone here,
we have a request.
This is my bread and butter. This is the only kind of historical romance I like. Yeah. Read The Rakess by Scarlett Peckham because it's like a flip on the usual. So like the woman is like the saucy, scandalous one, and the guy's just like, listen, I'm a widower. I'm just trying to raise my kids. Like, stop seducing me. And she's like, no. It's great. No, it's very consensual. I made it sound weird. It's good. I also really like, listen, I'm so sorry because every time I recommend this book, I'm like, this is the ugliest book in the world. So I apologize. But Unmask Me If You Can.
I don't have it with me. Never mind.
I don't know if it's Shana or Shanna. I think it's Shana Galen. Yeah. Because her first 3 books in this series got traditionally published, and then she switched to indie, and now it's like a 12-book series. And And some of the indie covers are fine, and this one's so bad. Like the colors, not great. The photoshopping, terrible. Many choices were made. Okay, but it has like a scarred hero, a la the Phantom of the Opera, except he's like not terrible. He just is like ashamed of his scars. Um, and he is like hired by this girl's dad. I say girl, woman, to go like bring her back home because she ran off. I forget the context, but she is a single mother. I just forget why she ran away. And he gets there and she's like, I don't want to go home. And he's like, well, I'm in love with you, so I'm not taking you back to your parents. We're just going to fall in love now. So like, great. What else?
The only historical romance that I have really loved, because I'm still trying to figure out what I like. I also am like, no alphas, please, ever.
Mhm.
But one I did really love was Lady's Guide to Celestial Mechanics by Olivia Waite,
It's on my
which is a female romance, and it is so good. I love it. I love all the plot stuff as well, but like the characters are also great. Caroline just fills my heart so much. Like seeing her realize that like she is worthy of love and that her work is important and that like I just love it. Like cuz it's about like girls in STEM, which is very cool, but it's also about like hand what would you call them? Handicrafts, hand
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like textile work and like knitting and sewing and how like those things are not seen as valuable because women do them even though they're like amazing art and it just like makes my heart very happy. But
Yeah.
that's like my one contribution I have because all the other historical romances I've read so far have not been good. Not that I've tried that many, but my hit rate is still not very good for those.
Yeah. I have a few others in mind, but they're gonna be in my reading vlog that I need to edit. So I'm just not gonna mention them yet. But those are my two go-to um, recommendations that I'm always like, listen, if you're not even sure if you're gonna like historical romance, try these.
Yeah, very nice.
Yes. Mexican Gothic. Just put some pep in my step every time I hear someone reading Mexican Gothic, like, yes.
Yes, yes, I love that one as well.
Hmm. Oh, yeah, but I cannot recommend this one yet, but it's not an L hero. Don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure our hero is a virgin. So I go, yeah, yes. And he's like, Victorian Batman. like he's living a double life. Like by day, he is like in charge of this orphanage and children's home, and he's like the headmaster. And then by night, he's what's he actually called? The Ghost of St. Giles, and he's protecting people.
Victorian Batman.
I don't even know if it's Victorian. What even year is this? But listen, I'm into it. What time
Courtney
period?
Milan is one that I'm gonna try as well because I know you've really enjoyed her. I've heard good things about her in general, but I think especially Kelly because we have some of the same issues with historicals. I think that would
Thank
be a
you.
good bet for me. I actually own one of her books. It's the one about suffragettes because of course it is.
Ooh, wait, which one is that?
It's called like the suffragette scandal or something. Let me look that
Press
up.
that on my TBR. That sounds really familiar.
Yeah, the suffragette scandal. It's in the Brothers Sinister series, but I haven't read any of the other books. So I hope it's okay that I'm just like jumping in with number 4.
Oh my gosh, it always is. Listen, I'm going to sneeze, but I am very serious in what I'm about to say.
Okay.
I think I fought the sneeze off. Okay. I am the strongest proponent of not reading romance series in order. What you do is if something calls to you, the trope, the premise, whatever, you read that book. And then if you like that book, go elsewhere in the series. You might enjoy the other ones, but start with the one that calls to you. I don't think I've ever started a historical romance series with book one ever. And I
Yeah.
never will.
Yeah. Like I don't normally it's silly to talk about spoilers because you know from the premise what the main couple is. I don't usually love like seeing like couples interact after they're already together if I'm planning to go back and read it. But if I'm not sure about the whole series, then I think that's a good idea. It's like, yeah, just start with the one you care about, you know, to see if like it even is something you want to keep going with.
Yep. Oh, I forgot I was Googling something. That's not what I wanted to know. I'm just trying to look up if it's Victorian or not. It's Georgian. He's Georgian Batman.
Georgian Batman.
So make of that what you will.
I mean, there really is no like historical era that doesn't sound funny if you put it in front of Batman, but Regency Batman.
Ancient Greek Batman. Keep it going. Ancient Greek Batman.
Yeah. There you go.
Mary Margaret, I already told you we're gonna buddy read one. Just buckle up. We're going for it. I'm fully like a convert. I read probably like 5 or 6 3.5 star historical romances, and then I was like, stop messing around. Look, you beeline to those single dads, those little nerds, and those like nice guys. You find them and you read those books, and it has not failed me. So
yeah, I feel like a lot of my historical ones I've read have been like 1 and 2 stars. Like I've not been doing great. So I need to take some of these recommendations. I have like a plan to try some of them, so that should be happening soon, I hope.
I still
Okay.
think you should read the pirate one.
The pirate.
You should read the pirate one.
Maybe. That's like not the one that you recommended that I'm most confident about, but maybe.
Me neither, but it was a really good time.
Maybe. Okay, do we want to do a sprint to, yes. Let's see. We did like 22 minutes last time. Do we want to do to like 5:40? Well, it's 5 for me. To like
to the 40-minute mark.
Yeah, 40 would be almost half an hour. How does that sound, y'all?
That's good for me.
Mary Margaret is buckled up.
Good.
Good to know. Okay, so I'll do a banner.
But now I need to add this into Bookly since I'm going off script. I hope Sarah doesn't show up in the middle of this sprint and go, "What is Julia reading?"
I know. Now that you've publicly committed yourself.
I mean, is this our last sprint or are we doing another one after this?
Oh, I think we're gonna do at least one more after this.
Then we're fine.
You can circle back if you like. Yeah.
I'll read The Count of Monte Cristo in the last sprint or the third sprint, whatever it may be.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready, Julia.
I just got to make sure I have the correct page number. 360 even. How delightful. And then we have to say historical fiction, and then we have to say romance, and then we have to say the book. Okay, sorry, I can't read without Bookly. I can't. Okay, I'm ready.
Alrighty, and 1, 2, 3, mute. Okay. We're
I was muted again. I went really fast.
I know. How'd we do?
I did great. Well, as you can see, I went back to my world full of nature stories because I'm almost done. I just want to finish it. But I did read, was it the first chapter and a prologue? No, it was all just one chapter. I read the first chapter. Listen, it was good. I'm very intrigued, but I have to tell everyone this because I was cracking up. So the first scene involves our hero being rescued by our heroine. And what's her name? I know he's Winter. I don't know her name. Because I didn't care about her in the last book. Isabel. Okay. So Isabel's in her carriage. She finds him as the ghost of St. Giles, like injured on the street. And she's like, pull this man into my carriage. We're taking him home. We're rescuing him because there's a mob after him, which is true. So they do that. And she like takes him to the house and her staff is like helping her. And she's like, oh no, he's bleeding. And then her, I don't know, housekeeper or someone is like, okay, well, we probably have to like remove his clothes to see where he's bleeding from. And she's like, I'm on it. And she starts undoing his buttons. And she's like, my lady, not you. And she's like, it's just a man. And she does it anyways. And I'm not kidding you. She removes him of all of his clothing because the wound was on his leg. So it was necessary.
Yeah.
But the moment she goes to take off his mask, he goes, don't. Like, you are butt naked right now, but the moment she reaches for your mask, you're like, that's a step too far. It was amazing.
I am struck by the possibility that he was awake for the whole thing.
Oh, see, that's the best part is she was like, wait, when did you regain consciousness? And he was like, it was around the time you were removing my leggings. I just let it slide. And it's like,
just let it happen. Wow.
Yeah. So it was a journey.
Off to a strong start there.
Yeah. It really took it's just like right off to the races a lot more than the other book from the series that I read. So I was like, okay, here we go. Waste no time.
Yeah. I am almost 50 pages into my book, which is reading very quickly, and I'm really enjoying it. I was already liking, there's like several main characters, I think, because it's like told in letters, but like our arguably main character, Juliet, who's an author, I was already really liking her, but she got bonus points because apparently she has written a biography on Anne Bronte, the most underappreciated Bronte, and I'm like, okay, you're even cooler.
Yeah. You're
So
in
that
our good
was
graces.
yeah, fun little Easter egg for the Bronte crowd, like
Love.
Yeah. So it's really good. Like I remember people talking about really enjoying this one, but sometimes it's weird reading a book that like you have heard a lot about, but you've only heard vague stuff about. Because I'm like, oh, that's what this book is about. Like, I had like no idea really, except that it was about like this literary society. Like I don't know. So
Yeah.
it's really good so far. And I forgot that my copy has like stills from the movie in it. I think.
Oh.
I think it does. Maybe not. I thought I saw them.
Show us Lily James. Where is she?
Apparently, did I make this up? I don't know. I guess I lied to you.
Well, thanks for nothing.
Sorry. I know. I really thought like it had stills in it. Oh well. Maybe it's a different edition.
Don't question it.
Yeah, I'm excited to finally be reading it. Because I've had it for a very long time. So
I want to read it, but I also don't read a lot of epistolary novels, so I don't quite know how I'll get on with that.
Yeah. I don't think of them as something I specifically enjoy. Like I never seek them out, but a lot of the ones I read I like. So I think it's just like I tend to think of it as something that I don't know, it's hard to do well, which I think it arguably is, but a lot of the ones I picked up have been good. So I guess it's like I can trust my my taste. It's also
Yes.
cool because or interesting because it's set after World War II. Um, which like I also tend not to read a lot of World War II historical fiction. Um, unless there's like something specific about it. And so this is interesting because it's like the war's over, but obviously people are still dealing with it. And it's kind of like everyone's trying to get back to normal, but it's not really back to normal. So
Mm,
that's been really interesting. Yeah,
cool.
I kind of what I've heard is that like actually Kelly, you might have been the one who said this if you're still here. But I think I've heard for this from multiple people that like the book and the movie together is like the prime experience because they do different things well.
Hmm.
So it's kind of what you want, I think, from an adaptation. So
Yeah.
yeah, excited about that.
Sounds
Off to a
good.
good start.
Yeah.
There's also a charming and mysterious American publisher who just showed up, so that's a good time. Like I know there's like a romance plot in it, so I assume it's I don't know. I thought it was going to be somebody that she goes to meet on the island from what I saw from the trailer. So maybe it's a false lead. I don't know.
So that's probably who I'll like in the book, is what you're saying, is the guy that she
Yeah.
doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Kelly. I was like, I thought that was you who said that. So yeah,
Well done.
which is good to look forward to. So also, I have seen the the clip where they're like picking up the like squealing pigs, and it is exactly like one of my cats if you try to pick her up. Like I know that. So like same noises, the same like squirmy panic, like that's Nala. So
Charming.
that's like pretty much what I know about the movie.
I would love to hold a little piglet.
Hmm.
I don't know if I'll ever have a chance to touch a piglet in my life, but I certainly would like to.
They're so cute.
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's interesting because I like Juliet in the book so far. I don't have any particular feelings about Lily James. Like she's a good actress and I've enjoyed things she's been in, but I think because a lot of other people, she's like a draw for them, it feels like I don't like her, if that makes sense. Like just because a lot of people have like specifically positive feelings about her, and I have like, oh, she's fine. So I don't know how I'm gonna feel about the movie. I do still like her. Like I'm not Juliet's just sitting here like judging.
I'm like, don't besmirch my girl's name like this.
I know. I do like her. I just don't like her to the level that I think I don't know enough about her work, I guess, to like her to the level that I feel like she gets the attention.
I
Although not
don't
that she
think.
doesn't, she's very talented.
No, no, no. Yeah, I don't think she's like some like genius prodigy actor or something. I just have a special like hipster affinity for her because I like, I was like a fan back in her Downton Abbey days when she was like just
Uh,
coming on the scene. And then all of a sudden
yeah,
it's like Lily James, Cinderella, this. And I was like, ugh, you guys are just hearing about Lily James. Please. I know her. I like her. So
no,
that's my.
I am familiar with that effect. I do that all the time. I like discovered her.
Yeah. I'm like basically the person who made her famous. Like it was all me.
Yeah. How did everybody else do? Any reading updates or whatever you're working
Mhm. Ooh, excuse me. I don't know. I think on our next sprint, I'm going to keep reading A World Full of Nature Stories because Bookly says it's only going to take me 30 more minutes of reading to finish it. So
Perfect. We'll do at least a 30-minute sprint then.
thank you. Hint received. Okay.
Yeah. Loud and clear.
And it also, no, I'm just kidding. Like, I don't know what else I would say. But yeah, between that and I think I'll finish my audiobook tomorrow because I'm listening to a middle grade, so it's very short. Not all of them are, but this one is.
I did a couple of audiobooks in the last month. I feel like a new person.
Yeah. This is very unique for you. I feel like I've slowed down my audiobook listening a lot, which is weird for me.
Yeah.
But it's not
How
bad.
are you liking it? I
Yeah.
love that one. Like one of my favorite nonfictions. So I hope you're enjoying it, Nicole.
That's one I need to read.
Oh my God, Kelly.
No, not this.
I am so sorry.
If it makes you feel any better, we have in my preschool room recently confiscated scissors from everyone's art boxes because we had a haircut happen at nap time a couple weeks ago. It was
Oh
their
boy.
own hair, and conveniently it was in the front, so now she just has bangs. But we were like, no, no.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's very cute. She has like curly hair, so it's just like little curlies.
Oh. Honestly, I'm impressed. Like, I don't know how long you guys have done the art boxes thing. I'm impressed it lasted this long. Like, this hadn't happened before. Oh my goodness.
A for effort, D for execution.
Yeah. Points for creativity there. Is that, I feel like that's a thriller I've heard about, but
Nice one.
maybe I'm making that up.
I have to look at the cover.
Yeah, me too. Yep, it is a thriller. I remember that now.
Wow, that was quick.
I always have a Goodreads tab open whenever I'm
Oh.
doing anything, so it's easy.
Ooh. Okay, I actually don't think I know this. It's got some good average rating though for a thriller, because thrillers are hit or miss for people, you know?
That's true. They tend to be polarizing.
Been a while since I read a thriller. Oh, because the last thriller I read was The Turnout. So it put me off from all thrillers. I was like, well, we're done with this for now.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It wasn't until Mary Margaret commented on one of my Goodreads updates that she's like, I love that you're reading so many mysteries now. That I was like, I am, aren't I? Like, it just happened that I read Darling by Kay Ancrum, which is like a contemporary thriller.
Oh,
It's a Peter Pan retelling. It's really good. That and also has an amazing audiobook narrator. I eventually stopped listening to it and read it myself, but that's because I was enjoying it, not because she wasn't doing a good job. So that was really good. I read The Scandalous Sisterhood of Prickwillow Place by Julie Berry,
I love
which
that
is
one.
so fun. Like, it's if you can accept the concept being wacky, it's like a great time. So I loved that. What else? I feel like there was like another one that I read in like quick succession. Oh, I read my second Agatha Christie book, which was Death on the Nile. So it's just like apparently I am reading more mysteries now, and it wasn't until like I had to have someone else point it out to me, but so that's been fun.
Would you recommend Death on the Nile?
I would. I enjoyed it a lot actually, because the only other one I had read by her was The Murder of Roger Ackroyd, which I didn't like the solution, but I liked the writing and like the vibes and the setting and everything. So I was gonna try more stuff from her, and then I actually was gifted this one, and I was like, "This is perfect," because I've been wanting to read it before I watch the new adaptation anyway at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And I really liked it. I figured out some of the stuff, but not all the stuff. Also, at one point, I basically was just suspecting every possible thing, so I don't know how many points I get for it. But yeah, it was interesting. I liked the setting. It's one of those like isolated mysteries because it's like all on the cruise ship, and so you know the killer has to be on the ship, which is really interesting. And it also wasn't quite as bad with the like of its time stuff as I was expecting. I've heard some of her books can get like pretty bad with that, but this one was not too bad. Yeah, I mean, like there is definitely some of that, so go like be prepared for that. But I was like bracing myself, and it wasn't quite as I was afraid of. So yeah, I would recommend that one. I had a good time with it.
Without spoiling anything, how do you feel about the resolution of the mystery? Because that's where I usually have beef with Agatha.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, and that's why I didn't like Roger Ackroyd. I would say it wasn't what I most would have wanted to happen, but I thought she executed it well.
Okay.
So I'm like reasonably satisfied. Also, again, coming off of Roger Ackroyd as the only other one, I was so irritated at that like I was primed to like anything that wasn't that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, but I enjoyed it overall. I'm interested to see. Like, I assume they're not going to change the solution for the movie,
I wouldn't
but
think
I
so.
don't
I
know.
don't know.
I wouldn't think so either. But I remember when they were doing the trailer for the Murder on the Orient Express one, it was like done in such a way that I'm like, are you trying to make us think you're not gonna do like you're not gonna do like the famous ending for that one? So I don't know.
I don't know. I think. Wait, I'm confused. I'm so sorry. I thought I knew something, and I don't think I do know something. I think I was very mistaken. So now I'm just confused.
What did you think you know? Like,
Anything. No, I'm just kidding. So I have let me back up to why I think I was mistaken. Um,
okay.
I have a little card game called Death on the Cards, and it's like an Agatha Christie little murder mystery card game. It's cute. It's fun. I've only
Oh,
played it once.
fun.
But so within the game, there's like different cards of like all her detectives. They're like the little character cards, and I've only read two Agatha Christie books. Two, I think, just two. Um, and so I'm not well versed, but I was like, but there's like these two cards that can work in tandem, and they're the Tommy and Tuppence cards. And
Oh yeah.
yes. So I was like, okay, like maybe I want to read one of them because like I didn't super love um Murder on the Orient Express, and that's I can never say his name. Poirot.
Oh.
So like maybe he's not my guy. And then I definitely also didn't love And Then There Were None, which is an unpopular opinion, I'm aware. And that's nobody, right? There's not really a detective in that one.
Right, right. Um, yeah, like I liked the Death on the Nile one is a Perot mystery, but I I liked him. I actually liked him more than like I've seen part of the miniseries that has like David Suchet that everybody says is like the definitive like Perot. And like I liked him fine. I didn't like dislike the show or I didn't dislike the character, but I actually found him enjoyable in the book. Whereas before I'm like, you're here. Like you're pleasant. It's
You're a
fine.
guy.
Yeah. Like I think I don't know. I just think like he's more understated in the book that
Okay.
I've read so far. Also, just based on your sample size that is as small as my sample
Yeah.
size, I feel like you might get on better with one of the ones that aren't so famous for being like,
Yes.
dramatic.
Well, because
Um,
that's why I didn't love either one, is because I was like, this is like so overwrought. It's driving me
yeah,
crazy. Like this,
I would
he
say do not.
purposefully was like, and this is the ending. And I was like,
Yeah,
Agatha, calm down. Like,
yeah, I would say don't read Roger Ackroyd for sure.
there's
Um,
one, I don't know what detective it is or even the premise, but it's like a closed door on an airplane. And that one caught my eye. I
yeah,
don't know
that
what it's
sounds
called.
interesting. I also like I really want to read the Miss Marple ones, so you might
Oh,
like
yeah.
those. Um Also if you I don't know if anybody watching follows Mara from books like Whoa, but like Agatha Christie's like her favorite writer and she's like an
Yeah.
expert on Agatha Christie and the way she talks about the Miss Marple ones, she's like and reading them now as an adult, she's like I think a lot of it is like an expression of like female rage that like she can I'm like all right.
Sold.
Even more intrigued. Um Also, I just love like I love when characters are able to like solve the mystery or like the plot happens because like women are super competent and everyone underestimates them. Like I love that. I never get tired of that. So
I know.
uh,
That's what I was just talking to Sarah about this. I was like, listen, I know it's kind of like like you don't want to like play into stereotypes, but I love when there's like a woman who's in trouble and then there's like the guy who's like, got everyone locked up or like being some kind of bad guy, and she just uses her feminine wiles to be like, I'm on your side, you're so right, and then like takes him out, just like
Yeah.
bonks him on the head when he least expect it. Like I love that, and I think more stories should do that. Like seduction to vengeance. I don't know what to call it, but like I love it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think it's an underutilized trope.
Yeah. Okay, but anyways, back to what I thought I knew, and I definitely didn't know, was I thought Tommy and Tuppence were twins, but they're definitely just a married couple. I was very confused when it was like, they have children. I'm like, do they? So the internet scared me for a second.
I mean,
I'm
when I
disappointed.
knew the name, I did not know. Like, it wasn't until I heard someone talk about it more that I'm like, oh, okay, it's like a husband and wife duo. For some reason, I assumed it was like Batman and Robin, like
Well, I don't
guy
know.
and
They
his
both have
partner.
T names. I don't know. I thought they were twins.
I
I
think I
think
interrupted you.
better.
Sorry.
No, I think it would be better if it was twins solving crimes. A married couple might be fun, but I don't know. Uh. I was mistaken. Oh my gosh. And I just love when I like see all my tabs and I'm like, oh yeah, there's that other stupid thing I was searching for. Like
Oh yeah.
it's just a walk down. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Or it's like sometimes I like look at just like website histories, like if I need to know what time, like what day I did something on, and I'm like, why was that? Oh yeah, and it's just like the dumbest, like I don't know, it's like baby ostrich or something. I'm like, why was I? Oh,
Well,
someone
that's
sent me a
why.
picture. Yeah.
I love it. Um, maybe. Sorry, now I'm just actually curious because I searched it and I never found the answer. In the middle grade uh, audiobook that I'm listening to, Not Your All American Girl, our main character is Chinese and Jewish, and it's so sweet. She like hears a song on the radio and she like loves it, and she calls. It's set in the 80s, and so she like calls the radio station to be like, what was that song you just played? Like basically like it speaks to my soul, you know? And he was like, I forget what the actual song was, but he was like, by Patsy Cline. And she was like, Cline, she's Jewish like me. And I'm like, is Patsy Cline Jewish? And I didn't know, so I still don't know the answer. Because it's not spelled like how it's typically spelled, but that doesn't mean
Right.
anything. People
Right.
also like have stage names. Like I don't trust anyone before 1960 who was famous to like go by their birth name. You know what I mean?
True. Yeah. Yeah. Now
So
I'm curious too.
I'll
Yeah,
let
I
you know
don't.
when I find out.
Yeah, I don't see anything that says she is, but that doesn't mean she wasn't. Like, I remember being so surprised when I found out that Marilyn Monroe was Jewish. But
I didn't
like,
even know this.
yeah, like nobody ever talked about it because it wasn't part of like the very specific. Like, man, I the more I learn about Marilyn Monroe, the sadder I am at like her legacy because like. I remember actually Mary Margaret was talking about this in a review she did of one of her, was it like her letters or I don't know, something like maybe something that she wrote herself about her life, and it's like how she was always like something that was really important to her was like that in a lot of publicity photos that she was like she had her book, like a book she was reading because that was like really important to her, and like that's like the image that she wanted, and it's like it's not what she's known for, and it just makes me sad. So
I know. I mean, listen, I saw, my week with Marilyn, and after that movie I was like, well, we as a society have ruined everything for this woman. Like, why are we like this? So, yeah. Also, I'm tempted to say she's not Jewish, but I can't find a definitive answer. But I can tell you that Patsy Cline is in the National Cowgirl Museum and Hall of Fame. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Maybe in the book later they'll confirm or deny or
I am
something.
almost certain they will because I feel like it'll be like a downer moment because she's gonna be like, but then it'll like get spun around because she'll be like, no, I felt this connection to her and it wasn't even a real thing. And then she'll be like, but wait, just because she's not Jewish doesn't mean her music didn't speak to me. It's still relatable. Like I still love her as a performer. Well, I don't know, that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Sounds good. What's the name of the book again?
It's called Not Your All American Girl by um, Wendy One Shang and Madeline Rosenberg.
Oh, I think I added it after oh no, maybe it was a little before you started reading it. Maybe I saw you add it to read and I added it to read, but
Yeah,
Goodreads is great. I love stealing my friends' reading taste. Like
honestly, truly. No, but I'm like almost halfway. It's good. I like it. And I mean, we both like stories that have theater, and she auditions for the school musical, and it's like, and I love that it's set in the 80s because it's very much like about like why representation matters and stuff. And I feel like that's a time where we really just saw like culturally America being like, and you're famous in white, and you're famous in white, and you're famous in white. We'll throw in one black person, and you're famous in white, and like not a lot of diversity in any regard. Um, so I think the themes are really hitting home. And I didn't realize before I started it that it was set in the 80s. And I love that it's set in the 80s. Like it's very charming.
sounds good. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying that one because
Mhm.
obviously I want to read it.
Yeah. And at some point they're going to be hula hooping, and I can't wait.
That's true. She is sure hula hooping on the
Yeah.
cover. Like,
The school musical is it's basically like Footloose, but instead of dancing, hula hooping. They're like, no, 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 that hula hooping is going to lead to bad things. No frivolity in this town.
that's really funny. It's like the song from Music Man, but it's like because of it's a hula hoop.
Yeah, I
You got
mean, all that hip movement? No.
corrupting the youth.
Yeah.
Okay, do we want to round it off with one final sprint?
We sure do. So I can finish a book.
I was gonna say yes.
I don't know if I've
All right.
finished a book during reading sprints before. Like, what a thrill.
Yeah. Should we say until 40 or 45? Maybe 45?
Just to be safe.
Just yeah. Don't want you to be racing the clock too much.
Yeah, if you were like, okay, that's it, and I had like two little stories left, I'd be like, no, we're still reading.
Nobody leave until I'm done.
The sprints are still going. The sprints
Okay,
won't
cool.
end until I say so.
So we're gonna finish off with another sprint, and we're going until 45. 1, 2, 3, meet. Okay. Final sprint done. How did we finish off, everyone?
Well, as you can see by the book I'm holding, I finished my galley.
Yes! Yay!
It was good. Oh, and I only have like one page of that chapter left, so we'll finish that when we're done.
I got about 35 pages read.
Nice.
I am really loving it. Also, I just love like the literary references because that's like part of what the main character is like writing about is like this literary club and people are talking about like what books mean to them. And there was like a Shakespeare moment that I loved. This man is writing a letter to her about how he he was never a big reader and he ended up getting a book called Selections from Shakespeare. Later, I came to see that Mr. Dickens and Mr. Wordsworth were thinking of men like me when they wrote their words. But most of all, I believe that William Shakespeare was. Mind you, I cannot always make sense of what he says, but it will come. It seems to me the less he said, the more beauty he made.
I'm emo.
And they talk about like Wilfred Owen's poetry, which I love. So I'm enjoying it even more than I thought I would. So
yeah, I'm literally misty-eyed.
I know, there were multiple times. There's like 2 or 3 moments where I'm like, I can't tear up on a live show. Although that would be very on brand for me. So.
That'd be perfect.
Nice. Yeah, I'm hoping to get like a good chunk of this read tonight.
Yeah.
So
we've been productive.
You have. Look at us go.
Yeah. I finished and I started a book during these.
I was going to say you finished a book like, during a reading sprint. Very exciting.
Yes, Nicole.
Yeah, that's a good one. I feel like it's an underhyped tragedy, if there is such a thing by Shakespeare. But yeah, I really like that one.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't reread it since I read it for class. So that's on the horizon sometime soon.
I did like a final like term paper on like portrayals of Cleopatra in in media. So I talked about that play. I talked about John Dryden's play. I talked about the film with Elizabeth Taylor. Basically, I was like, I get an excuse to write about one of my favorite historical people. Like, yes, I'm going to take that.
I was going to say, now that's on brand.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's one I want to reread it too, actually.
Yeah, it's good.
Of course, I could also read any of the Shakespeare plays I have not read at all. But am I going to do that before I do this? Probably not.
Yeah. I know. I'm like mad at myself because my like play a month project to make it through Shakespeare's entire canon was going so strong. And then I really fell off the bandwagon at the end of last year. And so I still have like, I don't know, like 13-ish plays left. A couple of them are rereads.
Well, you know what a great month to get back on the bandwagon is.
I know. I'm supposed to read Troilus and Cressida, so don't let me not read it.
Yeah.
Seriously, check in with me in a couple days. Be like, Julia, for real. Have you started?
I will.
Yeah.
I know. I should really try to read at least one play this month. Maybe I'll do that because I don't have enough books I already want to read this month.
Well, maybe try to read it. Maybe I'll just try to read it Friday. I don't have work on Friday. I should just read it on Friday.
Sounds like a plan. Shakespeare date.
Locking it in my memory.
I have not. I've heard good things about most of them. I've been curious too. So if anybody else tries them, let us know.
I did not know they existed, but I'm intrigued. I have like a graphic novel version of Macbeth and Hamlet. And I read the Macbeth one and I was like, yeah, it's a graphic novel of Macbeth. Like, I liked it for what it was. They simplified the language except for like a couple of the most famous, quotes. So I was like, wah. Yeah. But I get that it's like for students trying to make Shakespeare appealing to them.
Yeah. I think like the most well-known manga series of his plays. I think they don't change the language, which is one of the reasons I was excited about it. At least if it's the one
Saucy.
I'm yeah, at least if it's the one I'm thinking of.
I gotta look this up.
Um,
Is it the ones on mangashakespeare.com in all caps?
probably. I think it's worth a quarter. It sounds like. I have not read it.
Okay.
I don't know why Julius Caesar seems like an odd play to mangafy, but there's no reason for that. I'm just surprised.
Yeah.
I guess because most of the art I've seen really focuses on like the costumes and everything, which I don't think of Julius Caesar as being like super interesting costume wise. It's like you got your togas. Like,
So good up.
Any other readathon news we need to talk about? I don't think so. We mentioned that we're going to be announcing our time for the watch party or watch along, which is the movie Ophelia, starring Daisy Ridley. And so, yeah, keep an eye on the Twitter account for that. We are going to have more reading sprints throughout the month, so keep an eye out for those. Thank you for reading with us. We hope you continue to have a good time with All the Worlds of Page. And I hope that it seems like a lot of us are having some strings of bad books. So I hope that that gets better for the rest of the month.
Can't relate, but more power to everyone.
Juliet, anything to add? I almost called you Juliet because we were just talking about Shakespeare.
Thank you. It's an honor. No, just thanks for having me. I had fun, and this was very good for me reading wise. So I needed
Yes,
it.
me as well. It got me to make progress on things instead of just like stopping in the middle of like 4 things. So,
Yep.
all right. So thank you guys. We will see you for another sprint at some point. Yeah, happy reading, whether it's Shakespeare themed or not. And have a good rest of your night, everyone, or whenever you're watching this.
Yeah.
Bye.